Yo, Dave, how you doing?
What's up, man?
I'm at the vineyard. I
Oh,
gotta
really?
help pull nets off of grapes. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Look at all those grapes.
Wow. I can almost
So,
smell it.
so we're picking on Monday, but we're pulling nets today.
That's cool.
So,
That's
so
some
I
dirty
wanted to
work.
do the podcast, but I gotta go do this stuff.
I've done that. It's dirty. Look out for bees.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Last
They're like
weekend,
they're in the they're inside the the grapes. So you're
yeah,
sitting there
I
like
know. I got stung last week.
You
We were
could
picking
eat a
the
bee.
La Croissant, and I got stung by a yellow jacket. They suck. I hate them.
Angry bee.
So, all right. I'm kind of hidden over here. So, how you doing anyway?
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Um, the similar shit. I'm reading a book called Ice Fields, and I like ice. You know, ice, crevasses, and all that. Just
Oh yeah.
ice. I'm not done with it. I'm
Did
hell
you
of
ever read that one about? Did you read that book about the guy who he got hung on an ice cliff in a storm in South America?
Wow.
They made a movie up. They made the movie. They went right back to the place where it actually happened.
Huh.
He had to cut had to cut his friend loose, like knowing that the guy was going to die, but they were both going to die. And like the guy that was hanging, like everybody understands that when you're in the situation, right?
Oh yeah.
And so he tried to hang on to him, but he ended up having to cut him loose.
Oof.
And he fell and he broke his leg and he had to crawl, and it was just amazing. I can't remember what it's called, but they made a movie out of it.
Sounds
Google,
familiar.
South American climbing disaster. You'll probably find it.
Those stories fascinate me. I've read a bunch of them. And watched
Yeah.
anything on TV too. Um, there was a show, I Shouldn't Be Alive. I always talk about that. It's like Faces of Death for some people.
Oh Jesus!
Well, no, I Shouldn't Be Alive is just a story of somebody who went through something and lived through it. You know, they're all a lot of them are mountain climbers.
The last one I took it off, and that was a mistake.
Want me to come over?
All right, I'm gonna have to get going with this pulling nets thing.
All right, man. Oh, cool. All right.
All right.
See you next week.
All right, man. See you.
Take care.
Say hi to the boys.
All right. Later. So, welcome to the Blue Green Ocean Road podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I've just I just started recording.
Did you?
It's good. Everything before this was shit anyway. We were just warming up.
Warming up to what? I'm out of material. This is it.
Well, what were you saying?
I blew my wad. You got nothing.
No,
We got nothing.
no, we had nothing. We just got the money shot and goodbye. Okay,
All
bye.
right. See you next week.
You know what? I think the podcast just might be a little bit better now. This is fucking.
Oh, far out, man. All right, so just the two of us.
Yeah, it looks that way.
You got Mike picking grapes, and other Mike, I don't know. Maybe he's still up in Deer Isle, up in Maine, with his son,
Yeah,
and
I mean, yeah, it's not
something like that.
come when you can.
Come when you can. Well, anyway, you seen anything? Any interesting movies, programming, anything like that?
Right now, I'm right in the middle of a book, Ice Fields. Takes place in Canada. Guy falls in a crevasse. It's all ice and snow, and I love that shit. I don't know why. Like but I'm only halfway through it, so. But you were talking about ice earlier. Yeah, we have. I love all those stories. You know, where. You ever see I Shouldn't Be Alive? You ever see that TV show? It's
I
stories
shouldn't
about
be alive.
No,
No.
it's memorable. If you gotta mull it over, you never saw it. It's sort of like Faces of Death. It's unforgettable, this show. Only it's different. These are people who end up in these crazy, mostly are mountain climbers. All right, I'll tell you one of them. This guy fell into a crevasse, right? And his buddy wasn't able to anchor himself into the snow, and then so he successfully stopped him from falling. And then when he fell in, he fell some more, but very short distance, right? But his friend came down and went by him, and then just died below him, I guess. And he came down on the ledge. So now he's gonna try and climb up, but he doesn't have ice gear. I mean, they weren't climbing; they were climbing rock, so they didn't have he didn't have ice. He didn't have the equipment to climb ice.
Yeah.
But he had to do it anyway. So
crampons and ice axe.
And he had to do it before
the
sun came up. So obviously he did it, but and then he got to the top. The worst part was the top because it turned into like snow, like crumbling snow, just at the edge.
Right.
Yeah, but obviously he made it. They're all stories like that. These two guys got stuck on top of a mountain. They got up there and they just and then there was a blizzard and they were in this tent and they were just it was just enough space for two of them on the top of this thing, right? A helicopter tried to save them, rescue them, but they couldn't. The wind kept making it impossible. They made a couple of attempts, and one of them actually just walked off. Just I can climb down. He was like, I don't know, he was all delirious and shit, and he just fell. And I think the other guy managed to climb down. He finally had to just take matters in his own hand and go down or something. I don't remember how he got out of it, but he's alive because he's telling us the story. I forgot the end. He came down somehow. I don't think the helicopter. Maybe the helicopter eventually saved him. I don't remember now. That was a bad one. That was I don't know. It was 5 days or some shit. Just waiting for a blizzard to go away, and it wouldn't.
Do you remember that book, Alive?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They made a movie about that, Kingdom of Snow. I think it was the name.
Oh yeah.
Kind of gives more or less reasonably accurate portrayal of their struggle up there.
Skulls is bulls. That's the part I remember about the book. They were actually using the skulls as bulls, like brain bowls.
They ate their dead companions. Yeah.
They started with toothpaste and crackers.
Yeah, toothpaste was a food. Yeah. Well,
it became a food. Yeah.
But they eventually just sent some people. They walked off the mountain. They just walked down.
Yeah.
And they got tired of waiting around for rescue and just said, fuck it. We'll just walk down.
They got rode off.
Yep.
There was one, they found the, I guess the front, the pilot, they found a section that broke off. They had to walk a ways to get to it. And that had the radio. I remember that. When he got there, it was all fucked up. And that was a big, because they had some hope. So we're just going to get to, find the radio and then we'll be saved. And then when they found it, radio wasn't going to save anybody. So.
Right.
I read that book a long time. I read that when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, I think it came out, let's see, came out in the 80s, actually. I had to read it for a survival course. I don't know why they chose that book, but I guess it was kind of to reinforce.
Hints, yeah.
Well, I mean, it had to. What it really was reinforcing the idea that the most important survival tool that you can have is keeping your head. If you can't keep your head, then it doesn't matter what kind of gear you have. If you can't keep your head, you're not going to survive. Yeah. And that was the main message.
It's true. And it's good to be told that beforehand. Because you learn that lesson the hard way. Hey, you done panicked, now you're dead. Oh, shit, I shouldn't have done that. What did I do that for?
Right.
Why did I panic?
And everything should be, every kind of survival thing that you do is geared toward keeping your head, whether it needs to be warm and dry, whether it needs to be fed and watered, hydrated and whatnot.
Yeah.
Everything else stems around keeping your head. If you can't keep your head, then all is lost. these people kept their heads, to whatever degree that kept them alive enough to wait until until they were rescued. Um,
Yeah, there's some,
they did what it took.
there'd be some scars from that. There's nothing
Yeah.
on what
Oh,
who's got nothing but them stories is Australia. When the prisoners would escape, they didn't know the middle of the country had nothing. Nothing. It's just
Yeah.
sand. The only thing you got is the guy you escaped with. Right? So there's that. Like, they'll 10 go in, 1 come out. That's where that thunderstorm.
yeah.
Well, yeah. They end up eating each other. Did not eat the bugs like the Aborigines.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And what a tale. The whole history of Australia.
Yeah, there's really nothing
Prisoners
in the middle.
being sent to try to colonize a place that was that wanted to kill them all the time. Every creature and the environment and all the creatures that they had to put up with, and of course they pissed off the Aborigines, and enough to want them to kill them back. They couldn't, make friends with them long enough to help them survive. So there's always that. But,
Yeah. Anyway, it's got some amazing shit though. Australia. They have what the north. Always get that because it's upside down. It'd be northeast. The northwestern part of Australia is like original crust, like it's like the original surface of the earth, the forming of the earth, right? All that's been inducted, like induction. It's been sucked back down into the lava,
except for that part of
except for
Australia.
that part, yeah. And that's where they got the Shark's Bay. That's where they got the like they call them living fossils. It's like the original. It's like just this area where like they were kind of responsible for oxygen being in the atmosphere. They look like clumps. They're just like clumps. And and they got walkways that go out, and you can stare at them, right? And if you stare at them for enough time, you see a little bubble come up, and that's a bubble of oxygen. It made another little. There's some more oxygen for you. These fucking things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that billions of years of doing that.
Fucking billions, George.
Yeah.
4 point whatever. That's a long time.
There's this place up in the northwestern part of the country. I forget exactly where they found some Egyptians at some point. Ancient Egyptians had come ashore, whether from shipwreck or on purpose or whatnot, and they established a colony, and they left remnants of hieroglyphics carved in rocks and whatnot.
Really?
Yeah, that they do studies of. They're not sure exactly, but there's so much of it that they can't imagine someone trying to fake it. And they said that, well, there was somebody here that knew Egyptian culture back in the ancient days, and
Wow.
they may have assimilated into the Aboriginal culture, or they maybe just died out.
Well,
but,
they survived.
it's an interesting story.
They
Yeah,
survived a while. Who knows how they got blown off course or some shit, and then
Right.
you know what I mean? Wasn't planned probably. It probably just lost
Yeah.
at sea, and then good, we hit land, and they're not going back. You know what I mean?
right.
They're just where okay, good, we found land. Thank Christ. Let's I don't know. Let's write something in a rock.
We even found some Roman ships in Brazil.
Yeah.
Some
Brazil.
remnants of like Roman ships that blew off course. and ended
Yeah,
up
I
in
think there's
freaking
actually a
Brazil.
wind. Isn't it like a trade wind that, like, if you pull on the sail, it'll just blow you over there to Brazil?
Yeah,
I think,
that's why a lot of mariners back then, they hugged the coast very carefully, because they knew, once you get lost sight of the coast, you're fucked.
Yeah, they
Be
couldn't do.
blown out. Circumnavigation
Longitude was time.
Right.
Latitude you could use a sextant.
right.
So without a timepiece, I didn't know where the fuck they were going anyway. But I mean, that was important to be able to do that.
still, like you said, longitude was key to helping them figure out how far away from, off course they
Yeah.
were or on course they were.
That was the arms race at the time. Get a timepiece that would work on a rocking ship, because everything ran with a
It was
pendulum.
at,
You know, it's like, what
it
the
was
fuck?
I think it was like 1837 they figured out. Was actually, what do they call that? The thing that they use in watches now.
Yeah, I know
was,
the quartz, or just that the gear, that gearing.
that escape spring, that round escape spring.
Oh yeah, the
that,
thing that goes
uh,
kink, kink, kink. That thing.
well, that yeah, what do they call that? The
There's a
escape
bunch of shit in there. I
movement,
took it
but
to
the
watch
spring.
apart. I didn't know what any of that shit was, but there was a lot of pieces. It was like, wow, this is pretty fucking wild. Remember the old
Yeah.
Timexes? You must have taken them apart, right?
Well, yeah, I tried to, but
Yeah, because
And
my
had-
friend, we took everything apart.
You had
The
tools.
minute we
It's
got
like
something,
an-
we took it apart. How does this fucking work, dude?
there's like an insane amount of like tools, specialized tools you need to get to take those things.
Now,
Like,
but when we were growing up, you could get away with a lot with a Phillips head and a straight. How about you can now?
yeah. I know we have access to tools now. We can only dream of as kids.
Oh, I know.
And just. But you can go to the local store and stuff that were very expensive back when we were kids.
Yeah.
Who knows? All that stuff that we used to get at Benny's because that's all we could afford.
Yeah.
Breaking our knuckles on those things.
Or you broke your knuckles because the wrench broke.
Right, those cheap Taiwanese tool sets that we used to be able to get at Benny's.
What were they, like $2 though?
Yeah, but still, it was fairly expensive. It was cheaper than going to Snap-on and getting decent stuff, or even Craftsman at Sears. That was expensive.
It wasn't gonna happen. Not on my paycheck.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm already driving a shitty car. But I had my dad's tools. My dad had shitload of tools.
If I had money, I'd have a car that I didn't have to work on all the time.
Back then I think that was just a given. I think even a new car, you had the tool set out in like 6 months anyway. Because
Yeah.
the 2-barrel carburetor was out of whack. It was nothing. You fix it, right? But
Who could afford to have someone else do it?
I never even knew what a mechanic cost. I never went to one. I didn't even think of it.
Excuse.
You know what I mean? Just for like heavy shit, like a front wheel alignment or new tires or something. I remember putting tires on before too. I remember forcing tires off and putting tires on. That was dumb. I don't know why I was doing that, but I did it. I remember doing it.
A friend of my father's had a rig in his barn, and so we used to go change tires over there. And
Yeah.
he had he had it down pat. He taught us how to do it, and he had all the gear to do it. It was still, yeah. It was all a lot of arm leverage and whatnot, but he taught us how to do it right. And so for many years, we used to do our own tires. So we even had the balancing rig, the rig to balance
Sure.
the tires, and you'd have the weights. You'd have like a bucket of old weights that we'd put on to balance the tires and
Sure.
whatnot. Yeah, it was quite a thing back in the day.
Me, I just had crowbar and a big long screwdriver, jumping up and down and shit.
Yep. Well, well, if you had one of those rigs, and you can see them. I think we still have one. My father still has one that he picked up.
I've seen them. I know how they work. I just don't.
Yeah.
Didn't. Well, I actually had one. I never even fired it up. My dad had. There was one in my garage for years. Never used it once. It needed work. Seals were all leaky. Or the hydraulics.
Well, this one had no hydraulics. It was just a fully manual tire changing rig. You put it on, and then you had to get the lever bars and run the lever bars around, and pull the tire off. And it was still a struggle. It was still a lot of work.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
A good sweat changing tires on this thing, but
at least the tire would sit still while you did it.
yeah, exactly.
I was
Everything.
chasing
That's
around
what
the
it was
yard,
all about. Right. You had these things to hold it in place while you, uh, now I see like YouTube videos, like TikTok videos of like women with like kids on their back, like doing it in the backyard with a sledgehammer and a
Mm.
crowbar, like you said, and they spray like hairspray in there and they light it and
Yeah,
the tire seals on its own. But when the hairspray explodes, the tire is
yeah.
pressurized and pops into its.
Makes that
Yeah,
poof. I didn't know that
yeah.
trick. It's probably a good thing I didn't know that trick.
No, I know.
Yeah, throw some gas in there. Watch this.
I'd be I'd be stroking my burn scars if I do that back then still. Look at these. I remember tire changing well back in
You
the
would not be
day.
the fan of the camera. You'd have some,
Yeah,
yeah. We'd just have some sign there, George.
yeah. Yeah, I
Oh
got
man.
this. I used to change my old tires. Now my beard doesn't grow on this side of my face.
I had a carburetor catch fire once. Um, I put on a Sparkomatic, I think the Sparkomatic carburetor instead of mine. And so and from the from the driver's seat, the hood's up, I could see it, and I see it catch fire. Ah! Right out there, I threw fucking sand all over. I was in sand, so I threw sand on it. So now I'm looking at it. It's full of sand, and it's smoking. This thing I just bought. So yeah, I took it off. I washed it in the sink, and I went into the manifold with tape, and I was slowly getting all the like little grains that it wasn't a lot down there, and I was hoping that I'd gotten them all. So
Right.
I took it back, and the guy says, "What's wrong with it?" He said, "It don't fit." Yeah, that was good enough. I polished it up and tell him it caught fire. So then I put my old one back on. You know what it was? It was stupid. I was at an altitude where my car wasn't running right. I didn't know about the Venturi, like being at 6,000 feet. That the car, like somewhere a carburetor doesn't work well up there. That was the problem. And then I went down to Reno from Tahoe, and it ran great. Now I'm down like sea level, and the car's running like a champ. I go, oh, that's how I found out. But not before I bought a Sparkomatic carburetor and tried to use that.
Yeah. Do you remember rebuilding them? I remember you
I
get
did
the
two
kits
barrels.
and
Jiffy Kit.
yeah,
That was easy. You just put it back together where you took it apart. You just had to do oxygen fuel mix right. Just back them, put them all the way in, and back them off like what, a turn and a half, and then kind of do a little while it's running. Yeah,
yeah.
it wasn't bad. It's doable.
Well,
I saw this guy. We were like this one guy in Reno. He had his truck, and he was all proud of himself. He wouldn't even change it. The router in his distributor cap broke. That little piece that comes out and makes a connection
yep,
all around. That little thing.
yep,
He made one out of C clamps. The round, he used one around it and used the other one as the thing, and he had done it, and it worked. But he never fixed it. He wouldn't buy another one. He just loved showing everybody. I saw it because he said, "Oh, you want to see what I did?" Because we were talking about having to fix our cars on like in the deserts and shit. And
sure, yeah.
I rebuilt my starter I kept having to rebuild my starter on the way across the first time in that Fury, and then I ended up. This is so fucked. This starter story. I went in after all that time, after going homeless, all that shit, George, right? I'm in San Diego now. I got an apartment, right? I've been working a while. I have $50. I can start a bank account. This is like from homeless living in the car to this monumental moment. And I get the bank account, right? It's like $50. I get back out to the car, it won't start. And I can't rebuild it. It's done. It won't work anymore. Like what I've been doing, it's finally had enough of me, right? So I go back in and close the account with the $50 and bought a $50 starter, right? Which is exactly what it cost. And so I put it in a new starter. Later, that car got stolen, and I got it back. It got all potted, like the radio. They had a shopping list. I had one good tire. I had to buy a tire. They wouldn't sell me a used one. I was in the middle of nowhere with Rhode Island plates. So I ended up with a new tire because there's nothing else I could do, right? So they took that tire. They took that one good tire too, right? But my starter's still there. Go figure, right? Brand new. It still had the paint on it. It looked new, right? So fucking beautiful. So I I took it back up like $50 back again. Yep, the starter story. I rebuilt it all the way across. It was started acting up like in Connecticut. Wouldn't start, you know. So I used the screwdriver trick, and after a while it wouldn't because it was like it just needed to be taken apart. Like I was using WD-40, and I was an idiot because I could have just used some grease, like from say under the carriage or something. Just got some grease and put it in. But I was using that light oil, so it wasn't so it would dry up after a while and quit working for me. Yeah.
The things you had to do back in the day.
Yeah, I had some charm to it, you know? I mean, I didn't mind doing that. I like that. Those are the stories we have. We all had stories like this. We're all swapping them because we'd all driven something across the country, you know, some piece of shit. And we all ended up in Reno for some reason. That's where everybody ended up. Because you could get a casino job like that. Because you ain't going to last long in the vaults and shit. I don't know how long you can empty the slot machines at 3 a.m, you know, and then take them down to the vault and then put them in these wrapping machines. It'd be done by 11.
Suppose you could survive as long as you need to,
Ugh.
just to get by.
We used to, and then the first thing you start doing is drinking because you went by like 4 bars on the way out. If you could find your way out, that fucking whole, you know. And there's these people you've been working with all night sitting at the bar already. So I'll have one. You know how that goes. I'll have one. And then you wake up 3. So it's 2 a.m. I got to be in by 3 a.m, right? And I'm like, oh, no. Sometimes I was still there. One time I was still there. I was in the sports book at Cal Neva. I worked there at the time, right? And I looked down at 7. It says, I can be at work in like 5 minutes. Fortunately, all I have to do is go down 2 flights of stairs and punch in, you know? And so I'm in there. My job then was I was an Ike racker. They call them Ike rackers, these silver dollars, Ikes. So there was a bin. They opened it up, and all these silver dollars come pouring out. And we just like threw them in racks. Just a big pile of fucking silver dollars in front of me, and I'm putting them in racks, you know. And then finally, like eventually, I was like, I had passed out. I'm face down in the pile, right? Somebody shakes me. I get up. I clearly remember like a silver dollar coming off my head, you know.
Yeah.
And the guy next to me, this guy I knew, he gave me some speed, and then and then we were down back to Ike racking. That place, yeah, it's hard to survive there. It's like drinking's bad enough, but if you gamble, you are fucking doomed. It's that
Oh, I know. What a sucker's game. Gambling's awful, especially casino gambling. It's just the worst.
But yeah, it is. It really is. You know, I used to take $20 out of my pay because I knew I wasn't going to be able to resist, but that was all I was going to use. You know, that. And
well, at least you had discipline for that.
I'm just cheap. I mean, that's just.
Well, the never know thing is the kind of thing that it's like intermittent reinforcement. You know, it's always there. You always get a taste of it, but that's all you get is a taste of it, thinking that if you keep repeating the action over and over again, it's going to end with a different result.
Well, there was a guy at the casino one night. He got 3 triple bars, and that was like he became like a millionaire right there. It happened. It happened to him.
It happened, but that's rare. That is a very small percentage of all the people that are dumping their money into these things.
But it happens.
Well, that's what keeps people going to these crazy places.
Yep.
That's what keeps people buying lottery tickets.
Ruining their lives. I could have had bread. I could have had food for my family, but no. I bought a useless piece of paper.
That's what I want to hear. I want to hear people that say, I just won $1,500 at Foxwoods. Yeah, but you're not telling us
They
about
never
the
remember that.
$10,000 you blew in that place, to get that $1,500 back.
Yeah, Reno was like that. They remember the 99-cent breakfast, but they don't remember dropping $1,000 at the table.
Right? Like Jesus.
Steak and eggs for 99 cents. It's funny. They used to all the casinos gave you something for cashing that check at their casino. Like they give you shit. And Harrah's had the best. They gave you there was a wheel, and they all had money. There was no money. There was, if anything, you were gonna get $2, right? And then there was 10, there was 20, and I think there was a fucking car on it too. I don't remember. There was something else on it. It was like maybe it was $1,000, which might have bought a car back then. Anyway, so there was that, and then they give you 2 drink tokens, 2 drinks, and something else. Oh, I remember this. Yeah, they gave you a chance at a Chrysler Laser, and they had it there. They had it on the floor, and it was like a key. They had like a number on it, and every time you cash a check there, you got another one. So I had like, I don't know, 7 of them. And the night they did the rest, they go down there and see if you won a fucking Chrysler Laser, and I didn't win it, but I was there, and yeah,
Sure.
so you end up drinking. You end up drinking in a casino, and they gave you the
Try
$2
that.
in nickels.
Nickels.
Yeah,
Hoping
nickel
you
slots.
play the slots.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember those nickel slots. That's insane. And people would play them all night long. Like
I played penny slots. There was
penny slots. Yeah.
you had to hunt. You had to like shop around for the right slot machine. A lot of them were a fucking ripoff. Well, they just weren't. They pay
What
out.
do you mean a
different.
lot of them? All of them.
All right, check this out, right? We had these ones they called progressive, right? They would just keep going up, like $1 a second or a minute, right? Until they peaked out at say 10 grand or 100 grand, right? And they'd stay there until somebody won it. Then it reset, and that's how you could tell somebody won, because it was progressing again, that particular one. So there was one I knew was like in a back alley. I used to go at lunch. I'd go over there and just sit there for an hour, and it was. I never broke the second roll. I just get one roll. I get 50 cents worth of pennies, right? And you put in 5 pennies, and then you're going for the 10 grand. I think it was 10 grand. And then after a while, you build credits, and they just have to just keep hitting a button, So for an hour, I'm going for 10 grand. And then even cash out, I still had like pennies left, after an hour going for that. But other people were going for $3,000 progressives. They had peaked at 3,000, and they were dollar signs. They were the Ike ones, right? It'd take you $3 to go for 3 grand. There were people playing those. Here I am, 5 cents for 10 grand. See what I mean? There was shit like that. But nobody would read them. They just the slot machine. They all, Oh, there was one. They started. They like I said, they had credits. They would as you won, and you had to hit a button to get the money to come out. Right? It was just a way so you didn't have to keep feeding it. You could just start using the credits from your winnings to spin again. You know what I mean? So some people didn't even know that. After a while, they were winning, right? And they were getting credits, but they didn't know. They just thought the thing wasn't paying out. So they'd walk away with winnings in it, right? They just didn't know. So you'd walk by one once in a while and see one like that, loaded with credits. So you go over and then you pretend to, hit the, play it a few times and then cash out. And you couldn't go up and down the aisles looking for these, right? If you did, security would see it. They actually watch for that. They call them silver miners, right? And then they get barred from the casino forever.
Jesus.
So, but
Take a whoa.
as you're walking through the casino, right? As you're walking through, you watch all of. I ran across one once in a while that had credits in it, because somebody didn't know, that there was credits. They just thought it wasn't paying out. They've been playing it a while and nothing's been hitting the tray. Oh, there's a drunken haze, that place.
Jesus. So you can't, take all the fun out of it. I mean, Silver, that sounds kind of legit. Who
That's
cares?
homeless shit.
But
No, it's just like,
They didn't even want you to do that, you know. They'd after if you're winning at the table, they shut the table down, you know.
oh yeah,
If you're smart enough to count cards, you get thrown out of the casino, you know,
I
which
think you get
seems like
more
a
than that. I
legit
think
way
that's
to.
actually a crime. I don't know. Maybe it isn't. Might be though.
Why? I don't understand. I never got other than they felt like they were just, you know, they don't want to. It is. It's like
Counting
it's
should be
awful.
allowed. What I'm doing in my head's my own
Right.
business.
Right. Exactly. You're
Now,
not
how do they
using any
prove that?
mechanism because they can tell, I guess, because they have card counters that watch you doing it,
Oh yeah,
and they can tell if you're doing it because they pay card counters to find the card counters. You
I
know?
saw that
Now,
once.
so anyway, I don't know. I just stay. The best thing to do is just stay the fuck away from casinos, man.
I saw BB King in
It's not
Harris.
worth it.
Cost
Well,
me 3 drink tokens. I took Brenda. Me and her went. And the drink tokens I got in the vault, it was all right for us to take some. Like they had them there. Like drink tokens, just take a handful. And I took them back to my apartment, and my 2 roommates, those other 2 guys, they worked in different casinos, and they could do the same thing. They worked in the vaults there. So we had a bowl with drink tokens, full of drink tokens. So you grab a bunch, and then we could drink at all 3 casinos, right? And so Harris
well,
had,
that's decent.
yeah, Harris had BB King, and it was 3 drink tokens to get in. And they brought all 3 drinks at once. That was weird, but whatever. And I saw BB King that way. It didn't cost me a thing. From drink tokens I took out of the fucking vault that I could have. We weren't stealing them. It was fine. It was a thing. Everybody did it. That's the thing. You were going to stay in the casino, right? You worked there. They didn't care if you blew your whole check there. They didn't care because you weren't.
Right.
Nobody's staying anyway. They chew you up. That place would chew you up. I lasted 4 months because I was young.
Right.
Oof. Oh, I went back. When I went back, like a year and a half later, I went to Reno again, and I was just passing through when I went up to Tahoe, and I used to know a lot of people on the strip. A lot of people. I went there. I didn't know one person. The whole town had changed. Everybody had moved on. You know, I just disappeared one day. You know, like I said, I went south. Got my 10 gallons and
Yep.
hit I-5. I saw that famous smog in Sacramento. Yeah, I thought it was fog at first.
Yeah.
It was actually
Yep.
smog. Back then, I'm sure it's gone now, but
Oh yes, I remember like the Hollywood Hills. Like I climbed up into where the Hollywood sign is.
oh yeah,
I climbed up there in Griffith Observatory and stuff. You can see the how the smog just hung in the valley. Well, hung over the city.
Hmm.
Well, back then that was the '70s too. So I mean, they hadn't cleaned up much. Well, since now it's been cleaned up quite a bit, but back then it was you could still make out the smog, and the smog just enveloped the whole city below you. And yeah, I saw that. That was interesting.
I was there New Year's 1982, Hollywood and Vine.
So I missed you by like 3 years, 4 years. Oh yeah, 1978. I was out there.
I was tripping,
Uh,
and when I was walking, were you in? Did you see the stars and all that shit? Did you go down there?
Oh yeah, Hollywood
You know how that,
Boulevard's a
you know how like
dump, man.
glitters.
You,
You know
yeah,
how like the
that's
sidewalk sort of glitters the way the light hits it. Well, it was
yeah,
really fucking with me because I'm tripping, right? Now these lights are like shooting by me, and I was just, God damn,
ah,
this place really does glitter.
yeah. We lived in the St. Francis Hotel in there, which is like the worst kind of derelicts you can imagine lived
Oh
in
yeah, I
there.
know.
You know, people like passed out and shooting up in the hallways, and
Yeah,
you know, hookers bringing their tricks into the rooms and stuff, and you know, sirens all day and all night going by the place, and it was crazy. But it was great because it's great entertainment when you're a young teenager. You know,
and
you're
it's
looking,
dirt
this is
cheap.
fucking wild, man. Oh yeah, it was the only thing we could afford. You know, we were working here and there trying to scrounge money and whatnot.
They save you. They would. I mean, one place I lived in, the Y in Bremerton, Washington, was $100 a month. It was just a room, right, with a locker and the bathroom down the hall. That's all you need, though, right? Just one, just a twin bed.
Yep.
And a way to take a shower. You get back on your feet pretty quick. And all you needed was $100. There was another place I lived at, the same situation, and it was $35 a week, which was, but yeah, all the crazies and lots of roaches.
Yep, those were the days. Yep.
It's nice at least to have that shit available. I don't know around here. There's nothing like that here now.
No, it's like this. If you can afford you go down the Wally and you get yourself a tent, you just pitch it somewhere under the overpass or something.
Yeah, to like move you. So you end up in the paper.
Yeah. Well, out there it's not as much of an issue. They'll clean up like one neighborhood at a time. You just move to another neighborhood, set up shop again.
Yeah, it's like there's like whole towns just devoted to the poor. Just trailers and shit, just horrible.
Well, there are communities in the Mojave Desert and government land where they're not moving people away. I mean, you can just like roll in with a car on its last leg and live out of it and stuff. They have communities of people that take care of each other and get you a little ride to, the store or whatnot. And they have people that provide rudimentary medical services and whatnot.
Yep.
People just like leave each other alone out there.
Those other groups, man, it's like the Bible Belt, man. They do that shit, Like I said, those the people that showed up and were just handing out meals in DC. They're decent people. When I was in Yakima, I worked at the Mission on weekends, just for chow. But I did shit for him. I did. That's where I did my trash compactor. What was it? The sink in the sink, garbage disposal. That was mine. Were you one talking about garbage disposals? Or was somebody else?
Somebody else, maybe.
Yeah, well, I cleaned one out. Somebody else I'd run across recently had cleaned one out, and I could relate. That's why it's fresh in my mind. It was a mission.
I've replaced them before, yeah, but
no, I was cleaning
back in the Mission.
And I was allowed to eat with the staff.
Right.
So I did that on the weekends. The other thing I did was I I had the donut job, but this is just something I did on the weekends. I worked over there once in a while. Just to get a free meal, Anyway, so like bussing tables, you get run to the kitchen until they kick you out or whatever. Well, until you get sick of it. You bus tables?
Oh yeah. We had a job in Oklahoma City.
Yeah. Insta job.
And working at a barbecue, and then I was working in the kitchen, and then sometimes I'd serve plates.
I want to do that. I'll just do the dishes,
Yeah.
I never ran to a restaurant that says you need a busboy. They throw a towel right at you. Yes.
Right.
Oh, thank God.
Thank
Can
God.
I have a sandwich? Absolutely.
I'll work the. Yeah.
We'll work for a sandwich, and then money later, but sandwich now. So the minute
that's what we used to get. We used to get like a free sandwich for lunch. Yeah, that's what that was a big selling point right there. Free sandwich for lunch, man. Just hook me up, man. I'll work that dishwasher. I'll bust those tables.
I didn't even mind
man.
it. I didn't even mind it. Nobody fucks with you. Nobody's gonna ask you anything. And it wasn't that. You pick it up, like table, go in there, put it in that dishwasher, send it in. That little.
Yep. Oh, yep.
I'd walk. First thing I do over there, like after a couple of rounds, I'd go over to that milk machine. That was my hangout.
The milk machine.
Yeah, it's got a glass.
Go by the.
And you feel your
go
body.
Go by the French fry port. Grab French fries on the way by. Eat stuff your face with a handful of French fries.
Yeah.
While no one was looking.
But they were actually. I never had to steal nothing. I wasn't going to work there if they were going to say I had to buy my lunch. So
Well, I mean that's all stealing French fries, man. Like half the time they're throwing them out anyway. After
Oh,
so many.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I did
You
that
know,
at a
like
grocery store.
well, it's like talking in the kitchen. Like they're cooking all the time and
Oh,
they're
yeah, yeah.
throwing out a lot of food anyway. So you walk by the French fry table where they're constantly making French fries. You just grab some French fries and eat them on the way by.
Yeah.
While you're working your ass off in the most crazy, insane working environment I think I've ever worked in. When it gets busy in a restaurant, you know what it's like. It's
Yeah.
nuts. It gets absolutely insane.
I know. And it's great because that's why there's always an opening.
Right.
It never failed. It never fucking failed. Gas money, whatever you need. It'll get you. That's what you do when you roll in on fumes with one cigarette and go to the fucking strip that has all the food joints. You'll be working in no time.
Yeah.
You're not the first drifter they've seen, especially in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Of that fucking shit.
Well, it weren't too bad. Anyway, I'm gonna move on here and
Yeah, these things don't end. Oh, I think we made up the time.
oh, good. Good. Not so bad for running out of material up and not recording the first.
Yeah,
half
this
hour.
is. Yeah, this is a really.
Well, that's all
I don't
right.
know what the fuck this is. It's nothing really.
Last week was a decent show. I like that one.
Yeah, they got.
Actually rewatched that the other day when I was working in the kitchen and stuff.
Oh yeah, I watched
Yeah,
part
it was
of
a
it.
good show last week.
And,
I liked it.
Yeah, it's good.
I
When
gave
it's
it
the
a
four of
thumbs
us.
up.
Huh?
I gave it a thumbs up.
Oh, cool. We get the same amount. It seems. It's like 11 people or something. I don't know what the hell that is. But good. Hey,
Wow.
thanks for watching. If you made it this far, like.
You might as well, right?
No, please. Just stay away. The only one who would be happy is Mike, I think. Mike's just dying to do some discourse down there in the comment section. Yeah.
Well, what is he? I never noticed what it.
No, he's always wondering who. He's always the one announcing that he's wondering who you are, who are you? And because he likes that. He likes that.
Oh, I
discourse.
see. Yes,
Yeah.
like who are those people who are?
Because he's still on
Doing
Facebook.
it.
He's typing away. And so, yeah, maybe them type away here. That'd be great. It's just once you get
Yeah.
that shit rolling, yeah, we'll be doomed then. I was like, this is just something we leave behind. You know what I mean, George? We're feeding our brains into the fucking algorithm. I mean, Google is recording all this for their AI.
There'll be very few traces of us.
No,
at
it will be
some
pieces
point.
of us. Like my eyeball will be in something, maybe. I don't fucking know. Yeah, it'll be in the. No, yeah, you know what I mean. It's all this the training shit. They use it. They're using us, and we're using them, and so because these will be
Right.
up there forever. And I don't know, at least be part of this AI thing.
Centuries from now, will be reanimated to serve some other
Oh, I
evil
doubt
purpose
this shit will
or
be plugged
something.
in a century.
Or some nefarious purpose. They'll use our images to like. We'll be
This
the
is
like
why
the
everything's fucked. That guy.
we'll be the face of a totalitarian state. You
Yeah.
know, like the reanimated for it's driving everybody insane.
They're gonna make a robot out of you, George. You're gonna be Robo George.
Ah, Jesus, horrors. All right, man.
All right, brother.
See you next same bat time, same bat channel next week.
Okay. Take care, buddy. Well, I guess maybe I'll do a puppet show. I should do a puppet show. That's what I should do. Puppets. Ugh. Really got to plan this. Let me see. And now, practice. Practice this.